What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here by myself today for this SmackDown live review for February the 28th, 2017. No Kev, no Dylan, no Mike. It's just me right now. Mike is late watching the show, so I let him go watch the show. There's a lot to digest in this show, so I'm going to let him do that himself. Kev isn't here tonight. Dylan is at work, so it's just me. And I can only say this, boy, did they miss a great SmackDown Live to review. I mean, this SmackDown Live was the best. My hands are down. This was the best SmackDown Live that they have produced since the brand split, bar none. So does this feel like WrestleMania season? It does to me. This was the best, I'll say it again, the best SmackDown Live since the brand split. Easy, end of discussion. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. That's how I feel. Dylan always misses the great shows. I know, Arian, that is the way he is. I mean, we should just stop having him on WWE reviews, right? Because, like, he just keeps missing great shows. So, for me, let's just keep Dylan off. Because every time Dylan is off, it's a great show. But SmackDown Live for February the 28th, 2017, I'm going to get into everything, including the final segment of the night, the main event segment, which was absolutely spectacular. If you didn't see my live tweet, I was actually a little bit behind watching the show tonight, so I tweeted a little bit after when I usually would about, the main event segment. But I tweeted and I said, this has got to be the best segment that WWE has done in a very, very long time. I can't put or pinpoint a moment in time that this is the best segment, but this is the best, most creative TV segment WWE has done. And the reason why I say this is because I am really, really diving deep right now on the WWE Network into 1998 Raws, because I'm going to start eventually, I'm going to start doing reviews for the Attitude Era starting in 1998. So I've been diving into that, and specifically at the time where The Undertaker is going to start feuding with Stone Cold. Right now, it's Stone Cold versus Kane. I think I'm at King of the Ring 1998, which is, of course, Mankind versus Taker. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the Attitude Era at that point. And why I'm bringing that up is because this segment at the main event, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, it felt straight out of the Attitude Era, and it just gave me chills. It was a great segment. We're going to get to that. I absolutely loved it, every second of it. And this is what I've been saying on this channel and what I've been preaching, guys. I've been preaching the Bray Wyatt character. I've been preaching Bray Wyatt from day one. And yes, Randy Orton kind of had the spotlight in this segment. And I know that I'm not supposed to be talking about the last segment first, but hell, I'm going to do it. So Randy Orton had the spotlight for the segment, but Bray Wyatt, if you think about really how dumb the concept is in your mind and you actually really think about how unrealistic it is, it's almost in a sense like a superhero film. Like, you have to be a really, really good actor. This is why Superman hasn't worked in a very long time, because you actually think about the core of what Superman is. It's absolutely, utterly ridiculous. So when you have to put Bray Wyatt in a situation where he has to sell the absolute fuck out of this, because it is just so utterly ridiculous that you have to make it, cool and everything. But it's so cool because the way he sells it in the ring, the way that he is reacting to what Randy Orton is doing, Bray Wyatt is absolutely an amazing actor, because every single second of that promo, I bought 100%. The emotion was real. I thought it was like real life. That is how good the acting was from Bray Wyatt. So for me, this is the best segment I have seen in a very, very long time. And I constantly preach TV segments on this channel. I've been doing rants about TV segments. So for me to watch SmackDown go out there and try consistently, at times they've gotten off the bandwagon with it, but try consistently to up themselves in these type of TV, more creative writing segments. And then to see them knock it out of the park with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, who are two awesome talents and put them out there and just go for it. I absolutely loved it. And now hearing the news that potentially Matt Hardy could be joining SmackDown, this just has so much excitement in terms of what could be for this Bray Wyatt character. Because if you guys don't already know, Bray Wyatt is my favorite wrestler right now. So to see that is just awesome. Let me know what you guys think. We have 7 people watching right now. Only Arian is in the chat. Get in the chat. Let me know what you think. I'd really like to, go back and forth with your thoughts about the show. But let's start and get into the opening segment. I'll talk about the finish more as the show goes on. We start with Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, AJ Styles, and Luke Harper. They have a backstage promo. This promo was a promo basically set up the AJ Styles Luke Harper match, which is going to be later in the night. And I was questioning the spot of the match. We'll get there in a bit. But the spot of the match kind of felt weird to me until we saw what the main event indeed was. But Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, AJ Styles, and Luke Harper are having a promo. Basically, AJ Styles comes up to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and they're watching the replays of what happened last week in the Battle Royal. It looks like some bad angles. It looks clearly that Luke Harper actually won the match and AJ Styles hit first, but AJ Styles continues to say that he didn't. So it was just it was like a way to build up the match for later in the night. Styles comes in and Daniel says that he was lucky. Shane says that he was lucky to even get this match because they can't tell who actually won. They think Harper won, but they can't actually tell who won. So they have to give the match of AJ Styles and Luke Harper later in the night to decide who's going to face Bray Wyatt, because up until this point, Randy Orton has refused to face Bray Wyatt, and we haven't heard anything from Randy Orton until later in the night. Then you have Luke Harper kind of standing behind AJ Styles. I thought that was a good moment there. AJ Styles was kind of talking crap about him, and then Harper, he turns around into Harper's face, and Harper goes up to him and says, "Thank you." I like how they continue to maintain the fact that Harper is a very intimidating big guy, but at the same time, they can add a little bit of comedy into him without him saying stupid jokes like Dean Ambrose. So I like that. Then let's go into the next segment, which is Miz TV with John Cena, and hell was this long. Oh my goodness, this was like 25 minutes long, and I only know this because I was looking at my phone, like the time, because I'm writing the notes on the notepad in the iPhone, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm looking at the screen at the same time. This was a really long segment, but I don't mind because I enjoyed it. Miz TV with John Cena. The Miz comes out first with Maryse, and it seems like, okay, they're going to start the show with John Cena, probably with The Miz. That's exciting. I like starting the show with The Miz. He's a great talker, great character. So The Miz comes out and he says that Cena is at the top of the mountain because you manipulate everyone that is in your way. He says how, he wonders to himself, how did John actually get where he is? Is it because he smiles the right way? Is it because he shakes the right person's hand? All that sort of stuff. He then goes on to talk about how he's 10 times more talented than John Cena. And he says how he's just known as the other guy when he's not just the other guy. He is the Miz. He then goes on. He just goes on a pure rant here. He says that Cena is jealous of the Miz and says that the Miz, Miz says that people can see right through Cena, that everybody knows that he's fake. And I know a lot of people don't like this stuff. I know a lot of people are thrown off and aren't enjoying that sort of stuff. But I really like when they try and put people's thoughts from the internet about John Cena into the promos. I actually think that it makes for a more compelling promo. And I think it makes for, more of an intriguing promo and story. Then he continues on to call Cena a hypocrite, which I really liked because they brought up recent news of Cena saying how he, apologized to The Rock for doing what he did in Hollywood, and he didn't realize the big picture of what The Rock was trying to do, which was break the glass ceiling for WWE wrestlers and become a Hollywood icon and all that stuff. And Cena trying to follow that same path. And The Miz calls out Cena for calling The Rock, a hypocrite and all that stuff earlier when they had that feud back in the day when Cena said that The Rock was, never here for the fans and he's always there. But now Cena is in a way become what The Rock used to be. And And then you get some "you sold out" chants. The amount of swings in this promo to me dictated that this promo was good, because Miz initially got the people on his side and swung the crowd to his favor. Then once Cena got on the mic, he swung the crowd to his side and made, the Miz look like a joke, which some people, again, don't like, but it's a storyline, people. I know Cena always gets to one-up the person, and it's kind of lame, but in this case, I think it worked. Miz continues to go on and says that, you're a parody of yourself. You're not Super Cena. You're barely decent Cena. Half think you suck, half love you. Cena doesn't get to respond for like a very long time, because the Miz is continually going on about all the opportunities that Miz stole from him in different situations and all this stuff. And then Cena finally gets to talk. Miz turns his mic on because he initially turned it off so that Miz could just have the floor. Then Cena has the floor in front of Miz and Maryse. And I think the reason why this worked so well was because of the way that the Miz reacted to what Cena had to say. Miz was really good at reacting to, taking what Cena was saying and then turning it so that it looked really good in Cena's favor. Cena did have some good things to say. I think it was pretty good writing, in terms of why, if I was the manipulator, why would I be facing you and not Undertaker? That's a good story right there. I like that. And that's also kind of, a little bit of fan service in a way, like appreciating the fact that people want to see Taker and Cena and that might one day happen. It's kind of a tease in that way. But in a way, it also is negative, because we think about the fact that, hey, he could actually be facing Taker, but he's facing The Miz. Not that The Miz is bad. I absolutely love The Miz, but Taker is Taker. So then he says, everybody says the same thing about me. I don't like that Cena always says that. Cena always says that. He's like, over the past year or two, he said, "Oh, you just say the same thing that everybody else says about me." Well, it's true. I mean, it's true. Cena then takes shots at The Miz, saying that he stole The Rock's gimmick, he stole Jericho's gimmick, he stole Ric Flair's gimmick, he stole Daniel Bryan's gimmick, and then he stole AJ Styles' lyrics, basically. The thing I didn't like about this was, like, Cena was just see, there was no kayfabe in this story at all. He was basically admitting that wrestlers have characters and it's not really them. And then he went on to say that wrestlers are just, which I agree, is the best WWE superstars are the ones that are turned up to 100, which basically means that their actual personality is, their character is their personality, but it's just turned up a lot, which is true for the best of them, like The Rock, like Stone Cold, all that stuff. But the way that he kind of said it was kind of like, bro, you're just like admitting that. I know that everybody already knows that everybody's playing a character, but at least come on, like, it's a show. You're supposed to maintain in the show. You're not supposed to break the fourth wall, So yeah. Anyways, Maryse then gets on the mic after Cena continues to rip in the Miz, which I thought he did a really good job. He was like, when we fight, bring a knife, not to a gunfight, that sort of stuff. Miz then Maryse comes up and says that Cena, you can't leave the ring until we tell you to leave the ring. She rips into Cena, says that he's an egomaniac, freak, bigger the ego, smaller the package, which I thought was a good line. Because it was kind of like, whoa, they're actually going to like do a joke like that. Like, I don't know why, but now when they do jokes like that, it kind of seems out of the ordinary, because they don't do jokes like that anymore. Like, what I mean is, like, I guess, I don't know if it's a sexual joke, but you know what I mean? And then even after that, they have Nikki Bella come out and say that, "Don't mess with my man, I'm going to break you, bitch." Like, when is the last time we've heard something like that from a woman? Like, this show immediately turned up to 100, like Cena said. Like, this show crossed it, like, it pushed the PG rating, which is what I like. I mean, there's PG rating and the show still maintained the PG rating, but you can push the PG rating, which is what I'm all about. I mean, make it good for everybody, not just the little kids, which is what they did in this segment. It was a very good segment. Sure, it was a little long maybe, but I think what you needed for this segment was the initial, why is Miz mad at Cena? Why is Cena mad at Miz? Why is Nikki involved? Why is Maryse involved? Now we have all that. We've set that up with the 25-minute segment here, and I really enjoyed it. I want to see what happens in the future. A lot of people weren't sold on it, this feud going into WrestleMania. I actually was one of the people that was saying, hey, this could be a good thing. First off, Cena isn't in the main event. Second of all, Miz is awesome on the mic. Cena is very good as well. And they could have a very good feud. And if it's Nikki's last match, they could do the whole storyline with the power couple thing, which I think would be interesting. And it seems like that's where they're going, which I really like. From a storyline standpoint, I think it'll be really good. Again, like it was tonight. But from a match standpoint, I'm not sold, but it doesn't really matter to me. If it creates a really big moment in the match, that's cool. I think that this could be a really memorable story, though. So that's what I think about that segment. Both guys were really good. They knocked it out of the park. Nikki Bella was great with the one line that she said. Maryse was actually pretty good. And I absolutely loved the Miz reaction to when Nikki Bella said, I'm going to break you, bitch. He was like, what? Like he almost didn't know she was going to say that. It was awesome. It was awesome. Now I'm going to check the comment section. Let's see what people have to say. Aaron says this was a great segment. Xavier has something to say about Orton and his new angle with Bray. Does this mean the number one contenders match for WrestleMania is going to be Orton versus Styles? Styles loses, keeps the angle of Shane and Styles. Boom. I'll talk about that later, but you are on to something there. Arian said, I'm so glad Maryse got involved. He says anything with Miz is a good thing. The Miz could easily become the top guy. He's so much better than Owens and Rollins. To me, the Miz is never going to be the top guy because he's a heel, and that's what he's excellent at, and I think that's his mold. But he could easily be the WWE champion, easily in my company. Right now, with the talent that they have, easily the Miz could be WWE champion, heel champion, definitely. That's why he's involved with Cena. Cena is one of their top guys. He's one of their biggest draws. And the Miz, I've said this all along throughout this entire year. I almost hit my water bottle over. The Miz is a guy that every time, I know you don't, maybe some people still hate on The Miz. Believe it or not, The Miz, every single wrestler he's been involved with this year, he's elevated. You think about all the feuds he's had this year, he's elevated the wrestler that he was facing, clearly. And he does that because he's such a great heel. Let's continue on with the Mickie James versus Becky Lynch match. This was a 2 out of 3 falls match. I didn't understand why it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't know if I missed something last week or before the match. But anyways, Mickie got the lead with the Mickie DDT, 1-0. And then Becky got the roll up to make it 1-1. And of course, it came down to the last fall. The last fall ended up being Becky, who gets gets her submission on and then submits Mickie James. But the reason why was because Alexa Bliss was trying to distract the ref to help out Mickie James. But Mickie got like pushed in, I think, or like she just got too close. She was like trying to get the ref's attention, and then a bunch of shit happened, and then Becky won. That's basically what happened. I mean, I didn't care for the match too much. I do like both of these women. I think they're both good in the ring. The match was okay. It was fine. I just didn't understand why it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. I didn't understand the purpose of it. And I feel like a 2 out of 3 falls match could be better suited for a pay-per-view. It doesn't really make a lot of sense on SmackDown. I would have liked to seen, I know that we just had a 25-minute segment, and I know that we need to put a match after this, but it didn't seem like Mickie James and Becky Lynch needed a match, if you understand what I'm saying. Let's continue on with the Luke Harper promo. Man, Luke Harper continues to kill it. Luke Harper is awesome on the mic. I never thought I'd say that like 2 years ago because I didn't know how good he was on the mic until about this year. But he's really good. And he can definitely be a face. I mean, he's a really good face right now. A lot of people like him. He's definitely an interesting face because you don't see many faces that are that big and look like that. I mean, like, he looks like a monster, but he's a face, which is kind of an interesting appeal. So he says that he has a constant battle inside with the demons that he's had inside, but he's made peace, and now they will help him, to see what the true evil is, and the true evil is Bray Wyatt. He says that, Bray Wyatt, I'm not afraid of you. When I win tonight, you, Bray Wyatt, are going to be very afraid of me. So I thought that promo was very good. It was to the point. It addressed the champion, Bray Wyatt. It addressed the match. It addressed his confidence going into the match. It also talked about, how Luke Harper is evolving into this face character. He used to be sort of brainwashed. The demons used to get the best of him, but now he's seeing differently, sort of thing. So Luke Harper is seeing differently. And then we have a Bray Wyatt promo, which I really like that they put it right after this, because then Bray Wyatt could instantly talk about what Harper said. So Harper does his promo, then Bray Wyatt appears on the screen in a separate place, and Harper and Bray says that, may the best man win, Harper. And he says, I have a message for him. The whole world will want to see, the whole world will want to see my message. It's going to be me and my brother, Randy Orton, the man who will make WrestleMania his kingdom. Glory to me, the holder of the Holy Grail, the God you know as Bray Wyatt. I like that Bray Wyatt continues to refer to himself as a god, because now at least it has some backing. Because before, when he referred to himself as a god, everyone didn't believe him because he never won matches. But now that he can actually be WWE champion and win matches, it makes sense that he's calling himself a god. Again, good writing for Bray Wyatt. Does a good job every promo he cuts. Alexa Bliss has an interview. I really like this, guys. I really like that they continue to go, they go segment, match, segment. They 4 smaller segments of people talking and people teasing what's coming up. I talked about this on a review, maybe a Raw or a SmackDown recently, but I said, I said that they need to do more segments similar to the way an Attitude Era or a Nitro would do back in the day, where they would have multiple segments at the beginning of a show where it would set up what's going to happen later. So what they did on the show tonight was they had Daniel Bryan and the Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, AJ Styles, Luke Harper segment. That was setting up that. They had Miz and Cena and Nikki. That wasn't setting anything up. That was their segment. And then you have Harper, Wyatt, setting up stuff later. You have Bliss setting up something later. So it's all really, really good stuff. Just in terms of TV, scripting, just in terms of an order. So you have Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, and then you go to the Alexa Bliss interview. She says that she takes issue with the question that was asked. She refers to the Oscars. Alexa Bliss was very good in this interview. She attempts to do her own Oscars speech, says that it was a team effort, thanks herself for, winning the title because that's how she is. And then she says, she thanks Naomi for her terrible knees and her awful coordination. And then you see Natalya. So this is interesting. I was wondering when Natalya would do something on this show, because as we saw, Natalya got the big win over Nikki, and she's moving on to bigger and better things. Natalya comes in and says, congratulations, says that we're both winners and we're both beautiful. She says, it's all about you, Alexa, until I win that title off you. So I really like that from both sides. Alexa was very good. She's just very good with her character and on the mic. And Natalya was good as well. So it's kind of teasing something between Natalya and Alexa. So we'll see what happens there. AJ Styles has an interview as well. Another very short AJ Styles interview. I really like the fast-paced transition. Again, interview. It makes you not want to change your channel, and it makes you want to continue to pay attention and not look at your phone and not go on Twitter. It makes you continue to want to see what's going to happen next. So AJ Styles has an interview. He calls his match against Harper bogus. He says that Harper's feet clearly touched first, and that when he wins this match tonight, he'll go to the main event at WrestleMania. Very simple, but it gets you, interested in the match next. So we have the match next, which is Luke Harper versus AJ Styles. And I was questioning, first off, why this wasn't the main event, because I was, wondering, what could possibly be the main event if this isn't the main event, if this is going to be the guy who's going to be in the main event. Like, because initially I thought Luke Harper would win. So I was like, okay, I think they're going to do this triple threat match, Luke Harper, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that unless they have AJ Styles in the triple threat match. But I don't know if that'd make a lot of sense, quite honestly. I think the Shane McMahon stuff made it too obvious. So, but the question is, what's Luke Harper going to do? Is Luke Harper going to be involved in the IC title? Is he going to be involved in the Battle Royal? Is he going to be involved with, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I guess, will he be in a brand match, like brand versus brand, maybe Harper versus Rusev? That would be interesting. You could do a number of things with him, but I don't know I can't see a clear lane with what he's going to do. Maybe Ziggler. I don't know. Okay, so they have this match, and it was a pretty exciting match. Both these guys are great in the ring. Styles gets the 3 count initially, but Harper's leg was like clearly on the rope, and they made sure to bring that up. Shane O'Mac comes out, and you're like, okay, this is when the Shane O'Mac stuff starts. He says that Harper's foot was clearly on the rope. This match is going to be restarted right now. Styles then gets the win again, which was kind of shocking. He wins with the 450 and then just yells at Shane on his way out. So once that happens, I'm like, okay, so AJ Styles won. I guess they must have something big planned later in the night. Gonna go back to the comments, see what's up. Okay, just talk about the women. Guys, let me know. We have 4 of you right now in this chat. Let me know what you thought of SmackDown. I want more than just Arian's responses. Nothing against the Arian, but have some conversation about the show because it was a very good show. Continue on. What else we got? So that match happened, and then we had Nikki Bella and Cena, and they had an interview lined up, but Carmella and Ellsworth kind of came in. They were laughing. So basically what you got here is the test of Cena and Bella in a mixed tag match next week. Get people excited to watch the show next week. Maybe some casual fans are excited to watch Cena and Bella in a match together. If they watch Total Bellas and they don't watch the wrestling or whatever, or maybe they watch Total Divas. I don't know. Maybe they just like Cena. Maybe they just like Nikki Bella because she's hot. I don't know. I mean, you could do a number of things there. But I like the idea of involving Ellsworth and Carmella. I think, it'll be fun. So they had that interview. I do want to say this. I don't like the acting that Cena had in this interview. It was very childish. Like I understand what he was trying to go for. Like, oh, I'm supposed to be scared of James Ellsworth. Bro, it's supposed to be somewhat serious. I mean, I know you take everything as a joke, but come on. Continue on with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles backstage. Bryan says congrats to AJ Styles. AJ refuses to shake his hand. And then he says he needs to attend to Bray Wyatt's speech in person to see what's going to happen. And actually, that never ends up happening. Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. Promo. Because initially, it was weird. Because they announced Dean Ambrose like he was going to wrestle somebody. And then he never did. Like, Dean Ambrose came out and they were like, this match is I don't know. Did anyone else notice that, or was that just me? Because Dean Ambrose came out and I don't know who the ring announcer is. I don't think it's JoJo because she's on Raw. But, they announced Ambrose like it was a match. And Ambrose then gets on the mic and he says that he's learned valuable lessons. He makes a bunch of jokes, a lot of jokes. And, man, they need to stop with Dean Ambrose comedy. The comedy skits are getting out of hand. I mean, Ambrose can do work on the mic. If he's serious, which his character desperately needs to be because he's a lunatic, he shouldn't be comedian, clown. He needs to be lunatic. I mean, you're not the Joker. It's like, you're not the Joker, okay? Dean Ambrose, I think, would really work if you guys have, go back and watch those Cactus Jack, Mankind promos. Dean Ambrose could do that. And I think he could do it really well. And those were serious too. Those were like really deep and dark and serious. I think Ambrose would do an excellent Mankind. I mean, he would do an excellent one. So I think that he should do some more of that stuff. Corbin, he calls Corbin out, bring your ass down here. I really like that Ambrose called him out. I thought that was great, and that's definitely what Dean Ambrose's character would try to do. Corbin then appears on the big screen, and he says that he's not going to come down to the ring because he doesn't come down in the ring when somebody calls him out. I like that. That's definitely what Corbin's character would do. I like that they have consistency with their characters. Corbin then says he'll run Ambrose over like a deer. He says that we have something in common. You love pain. I love dishing it out. And I'm going to test the theory that, nobody can push the line of Dean Ambrose or cross the line of Dean Ambrose, that you cost me something, I'm going to take everything from you. I like this. I'm starting to like this feud a lot. I do like Baron Corbin. I do like Ambrose most of the time. So for me, this was another good segment, another good promo, getting us involved in it wasn't fantastic or anything, but to me, Ambrose, minus the comedy, I liked it. He called him out. Corbin didn't come out. He refused. He basically said, I'm going to take everything from you, and that gives us another tease for next week and what's going to happen. Hopefully we start to see. I would love to see if they involved Renee Young into this. I know that's maybe crossing the line a little bit too much, and maybe I'm pushing the PG a little bit too much, but let's get something edgy in there with Corbin and Renee Young. I'd like to see that. Continue on with Dolph Ziggler and Apollo Crews. This is a chairs match, which was interesting because Ziggler's been running away from everybody, or has been attacking everybody after he loses the match, which is the equivalent of running away. I mean, he's attacking people like a goof, and I understand that's what they're asking him to do, but it's just not really working very well. And Ziggler in this match wins, goes over strong in his chairs match. That was probably the best match of the night, probably. It was a good match overall, and it was a good match for a match that I initially didn't really care for. Like, I wasn't looking at Ziggler and Crews chairs match like, oh my God, I gotta watch this because this is gonna be awesome. Because I haven't really been liking the feud. But when they actually had the match, Crews hit some nice spots on the chair. They used the chair very well, like the different chairs. Ziggler, the way he went over was convincing and great. He really needed that strong victory. So we'll see going forward what happens with Ziggler and Crews. But I enjoyed the match. I thought it was pretty good. And I like that they had, more of a hardcore style match on the show. Now for the main event. I know I discussed the main event at the beginning of the review, and if you just tuned in, you can check that out at the beginning as well. But Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, again, I'm going to state it again. This segment was the best segment SmackDown Live has had, at least since its inception. SmackDown Live, not SmackDown, but SmackDown Live. This is the best segment they've ever had. Since the brand split, it's the best segment they've ever had, bar none. Very, very creative. From a technical standpoint, the visuals were great. The constant back and forth and use of the camera angles and the cameras were awesome. The use of going to Orton, to Bray's reaction, to the worms or whatever the hell that was, to the chair in the background rocking back and forth, the music cues. Again, and then there's just the performers. Randy Orton wasn't fantastic, but he was good, and he kind of had that serious tone to it, like the serious Orton, like kind of viperish, but, you know, more of the modern Viper that he is right now. And Bray Wyatt was absolutely fucking fantastic in this segment. I said at the beginning of the review, but he was fantastic. He didn't basically say anything other than "Don't do it, Orton," and he was just freaking out. Like at the end, that is an icon. Like that's gonna be an iconic image to me. If this WrestleMania match and this feud continues on the path it is to WrestleMania, that image of Bray Wyatt at the end of the show just freaking out is going to be iconic. I swear to God. So, this segment, we had AJ Styles, or Wyatt says that AJ Styles it is. You know, he basically recognizes, okay, it's AJ Styles. Doesn't really matter. Because to be honest, it doesn't really matter to me either way because they're just mortals. Because Bray Wyatt is a god. They're just mortals. Styles, Harper, they're just mortals. I'm a god. It doesn't matter who I face. I'm a god. And then he goes on to say, you know, whenever somebody is in the ring with me, they just can't do it because the presence of me takes over. He then says that you're going to feel the spirit of your master and that unnatural force. He then says, I come from a hollow ground. I come from the earth all the way to its core. This is the introduction of Randy Orton at the compound where Bray Wyatt was raised, where Bray Wyatt was made. So Bray Wyatt in this promo introduces the core, the holy ground, sorry. And then it goes to Randy Orton, who is in the compound. He says, Orton says, here I am. And it shows a bunch of weird visuals of like worms and wood and like dirt and I don't even know. And then he says, I'm in the dead center of your inequities, the inequities of your world. This is your world, Bray, but it's not mine. And then the crowd pops and they're like, oh my God, Orton's going to turn on him. And then he says, it never was my world. And Bray's like freaking out a little bit. He's like, okay, what's going to happen here? Like, Orton, what are you doing, man? Like, you're setting me off here. And then this was a really good line. I thought Orton said, if you can't beat him, join him. Once you join him, then when it's the right time, you screw them, which is very Randy Orton. I mean, this is Randy Orton to his core. This is Randy Orton all the way back to, 2003. That's what Randy Orton's been about. I mean, he's going to team up with you until he gets what he wants, and then he's going to turn on you. That's the story of Randy Orton's character. So I really like that. He then goes on to talk about how he's going to destroy, what makes you tick. He's going to become the master now because he's going to destroy everything that is Bray Wyatt, and he's going to make Bray Wyatt the servant and not himself. Bray Wyatt, this was awesome, got on his knees and started praying. That was great. And then Randy says that he's coming for the title at WrestleMania. And then they go on to some really like dark and creepy shit. Like Randy Orton starts talking about, the last time that Sister Abigail was alive and how the last time she screamed and when she took her own life. This was very pushing the PG. I loved it, man. This was a great TV segment. Bray was freaking out at the end, which was superb. Orton sets it on fire. Very well, filmed. It felt like a TV show, like a real grade A TV segment. It felt like a movie segment. It was good. It was really good. The visuals were awesome. The acting was great. The entire story to me has me super in for whatever's going to happen. These are my two favorite guys on the brand. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this feud. Okay, let's go down to the comments. Okay, somebody talked about Becky's private parts. Trey says that it was very good. It will be interesting to see what they do next week with Orton and Wyatt. Man, I know. I'm really intrigued. Arian says, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen next. Arian says the snake, which lives up to his character. The snake, the snake in the grass is what Randy Orton is. That's what he always has been. But this SmackDown was excellent. I can't really poke many holes into it. I really like the fast-paced, different, interviews, segment after segment. It was great stuff. The matches were fine. The only thing I can really say was that, I didn't really appreciate the Mickey match. I didn't really care for it very much, just in terms of why was it on the show? What purpose did it make? Other than that, though, they tried their ass off on this show, and I really, really appreciate that. This was a good TV show to watch, not just a wrestling show, but a TV show. And for that, I got to give this show a 9 out of 10. This was the best SmackDown Live they've had since the brand split, for sure. There have been some good ones, but this was the best top to bottom. And this just goes to show you don't need a 5-star, 6 or Dave Meltzer 6-star match to have a good show. TV segments, I mean, great creative writing, character moments. Like the Miz and John Cena segment, I thought for sure was going to be the best segment. But then when I saw the main event, I was like, holy crap, this blew anything away. So for me, this is a 9 out of 10 SmackDown Live, the best SmackDown Live they've had since the brand split. And I'm really excited to see what happens next week. It absolutely blew the fuck out of Raw. Raw was shit. SmackDown was awesome. Raw, step your game up. This is Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of SmackDown Live for the 28th of February in 2017. If you did enjoy and you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and, just look out for our content, guys. We have a lot more wrestling content, sports content coming your way, football, NHL, NBA, a WWE Fastlane review this Sunday. I don't think Dylan is doing NXT tomorrow because I think he's working. I have to check with him, but I think he's working tomorrow, so he's not going to be on that. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited to see the future of WWE SmackDown because it's by far the best show and it has by far the most creative writing and best characters. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace out.